Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel, The Unplanned Life. Now, this video is something I really planned to do and I even promised you I do this, but for so many different reasons I wasn't able to. Like I got the inks around March of 2019 and I filmed this video on May of 2020, but I am editing this only now, October 2020. It's just been so crazy and not just because of the coronavirus. But here we are now, finally. I am mad late to this entire Vinta Inks party, but I'm able to finally sit down and edit this video. These inks are still available together with a bunch more new colors on the Inks by Vinta website, which I will link down below. The website also explains the names of the inks. It's very interesting to see how they have converted parts of Philippine history into one ink color. We are going to be swatching only the very first 10 Vinta inks that were released by Vinta last 2019. In order to have kind of a method to this madness, let us swatch the blues first and this darkest green one and move on from there. To test out these inks, I am using the Midori MD paper. It comes in this packaging right here and it's in the form of a pad. It is actually glued on two sides, but you can easily tear out a sheet, which is what I have been doing for printing my planner pages for several months before I completely stopped planning. I will link some process videos down below in case you're interested. Anyway, this is the paper that we will be using today. First, we start with Cosmos or Cosmic Blue 1955. The box already has a swatch on it, but we are going to make a bigger swatch. See, the bottle inside is still wrapped in plastic because I have never used them from March 2019 until May 2020. The label on the bottle also has a swatch. Let's give it a little shake, and then here I am using a cotton swab to make a large scratchy doodle on the sheet. Then for the handwriting samples, I'm using a glass pen. This is Rohrer and Klinger, and I have an unboxing of this pen on my channel, which will be linked below. I purchased this from Everything Calligraphy, and it's not obvious when the ink is wet, but when this ink is dry, we can see that it has a shimmer to it. And as with most fountain pen inks, shimmer is most obvious on the wettest part of the writing or the swatch, as you can see here. The shimmer is on the first strokes of the cotton swab only and is no longer present when the swab was almost dry. This is also true of the handwriting sample written with the glass pen. If you want the shimmer to be visible, I suggest you use the wettest fountain pen you have with the widest nib. Next, we have Maharlika or Azure 7107. And by the way, when switching inks, I also cleaned my glass pen in water inside a container beside me, and I wiped off the water with a tissue. Now this ink, I think, has the same base color as the Cosmos, but has a different property because clearly it has a sheen to it. Sheening is another property of fountain pen inks, which shows up as a different color and looks slightly metallic. And here are the first two inks that we have swatched side by side. Here is a closer look at Cosmos with a shimmer, and below it is the Maharlika with the sheen, which the website states as pink, but which I can see is red. And here is the shimmer once again, that is Cosmos. And then below it is the sheen of the Maharlika. Sheen is either consciously intended and designed by the manufacturer, or they can occur as a happy accident as a result of the way that the ink is formulated. Next, we have Dugong Bughao or Blue Blood 1521. It's also a blue, as you can see, and looks very similar to Maharlika, but has a more pronounced shading, and it's actually designed to be that way if we go by the information on the website. The sheen here is pink and red. And then we have Andrada or Teal 1898. Now this one has a sheen but is quite subtle, but you can still see it on camera. It's a reddish sheen. Here is a look at all of the blue inks together. Dugong Bughao or Blue Blood at the top, Cosmos or Cosmic Blue in the middle, and Maharlika or Azure at the bottom. And next we are going to swatch these two lighter greens. First up is Carlos or Emerald 1960. Next, we have Leyte or Sea Kelp 1944. Carlos or Emerald has a very pronounced shading, as you can see here. Shading is really my favorite property of fountain pen ink. I don't really have this deep desire to observe sheening or shimmer when writing with a fountain pen, but shading is the property that appeals to me the most. And then here is Leyte, a beautiful mossy yellow green. I love green inks. I have a lot of them. Shading happens at the wettest part of the writing, so I really make sure to use pens that tend to write wet. And here are the three green inks all together: Carlos or Emerald, Leyte or Sea Kelp, and Andrada or Teal. Andrada has a red sheen, you can see it here. Leite is a very nice color and subtle shading, and Carlos has a more pronounced shading than that of Leite. And then it's time for these last 4 inks. Let's have a look at La Paz or Bronze Yellow 1895. La Paz or Bronze Yellow is like an ochre color but more yellowish. I think a true ochre has reddish undertones but still looks like a brownish yellow. This one does not have much red in it, and I think it's really pretty. It doesn't have any sheen, but it has a nice subtle shading, as you can see from when I was swabbing it with the cotton swab. The shading showed up only when the cotton swab was very wet. Next, we have Sandugo or Sikatuna 1565. It is an orange red, which the website describes should be dark red, but here in the swatch it is more orange red than dark red. The Sandugo or Sikatuna 1565 has some green sheen when it's dry. Here is La Paz or Bronze Yellow. And here is the Sandugo or Sikatuna, which has the greenish sheen. And we are down to the last 2 inks. Here is La Union or Vineyard 1971. Obviously, this ink will have a wine color as suggested by the name of the ink itself. It is a purple red, not really quite plum, but it is the color of red wine, more or less the color that you can see through the wine glass. And next we have Santa Cruz or Pink Sands 1983. I think this is by far the prettiest of all of the 10 inks. It is a bright orange ink, as you can see, and as the ink dries on this clip, you will start to see the subtle gold shimmer. I really like all of these 10 inks when it comes to color. I think they are quite special, especially the Pink Sands. Now, there have been a ton of different inks made for fountain pens and the market is quite saturated now, but I honestly think that these 10 Vinta inks can give you very good color choices. And I cannot tell you how these inks perform when inside an actual fountain pen. And if you check out their website, you will see that they have a bunch more other new ink colors launched after they launched the first 10, and those inks are also pretty. Check them out. And by the way, if you purchase these inks from Vinta, part of the payment goes to a teaching advocacy, and that's another reason why I like this company. I have 2 more videos showing all of the inks that I had when I filmed those videos. It's a video from I think 2 years ago. The video was so long I had to cut it into 2 parts. Part 1 is one of my most watched videos on my channel. I will leave a link to both parts 1 and 2, on the description box. Thanks for watching. Bye.